All right, guys, I think we're going to get started. So I'm going to begin with officially introducing myself. My name is Danny. I am a co-host on the Hyperion Review. I have my fellow co-hosts here on the Hyperion Review, John. John, if you want to wave. Frankie, if you want to go ahead and wave. And then tonight joining us from Station 71 podcast, we've got Mario, Beth, and Brian.
She even got the intro down.
I know, right? Well,
sorry.
I couldn't get fun fact. Funny enough, I made them all fill out an outline. Could not get it up on my computer, so it's I made them do homework for no.
Perfect.
But yeah, so we are two sister Disney podcasts. Station 71 focuses more on Walt Disney World, whereas the Hyperion Review is kind of just a clusterfuck. I'm not going to lie to you. Sometimes it's movies, sometimes it's parks, sometimes it's arguing.
All the time
yeah,
it's
that's
arguing.
All the time it's arguing. So yeah, that's kind of our group. I'm going to have everyone each go around and kind of give a little fun fact about themselves. John, do you want to start?
Yeah, so hi everybody to the 135,000 people that are sitting in the audience out there. My name is John. I am one of the co-hosts of the Hyperion Review. And Danny, since she made us do this homework, I'm sticking to it. I did the work. I'm going to get the credit, okay? So I am from the state of Indiana. I know Danny was kind of telling everybody we're all over the country. I'm smack in the center of it right there. And then a favorite ride of mine is going to be the only correct answer. Brian's going to try and tell you one a little bit later from now that's completely wrong, but it's the People Mover.
Ooh, People Mover. People Mover is solid.
Hot take.
Wow. Mario, you're up next.
I'm
just going in order. At least that you're popping up on my screen.
I mean, Frankie is next, to be completely fair.
Okay, Frankie, go. This is why
we all know I'm her least favorite.
She likes to neglect him.
They don't listen to me anyway, so I'm pretty used to it.
So, I'm Frankie. I'm actually from the great state of Texas. Yeehaw, you know. Actually transplanted here, originally from Georgia, but
hey.
I know the People Mover is very hard to top, but I'm going to say my favorite ride is the Rise of Resistance.
Okay. Has anyone here been on Rise of Resistance yet out at either one? What did y'all think? I cried. Fully cried.
It's okay.
She tried to steal the Kylo animatronic.
It was incredible. If I had a chance to steal that Kylo Ren animatronic and do bad things with it, I would. But that's just for us friends in this room to know about, right? We can't let
and
that
everybody
get out
on the
to
podcast feeds.
and now every single person listening to this
part
episode.
Out of the podcast, so Disney doesn't come after me.
That is staying in the podcast feed.
Absolutely.
All right, whoever's next on my homework list, go for it.
Now it comes back to me. I'm Mario. I'm from New Jersey. When you asked what our favorite attractions were, it took me like a hot 30 minutes to debate this in my head. So prepare for the indecision tonight. But I will say my final answer was the Haunted Mansion, which is the correct answer, John. I'm so sorry.
No way.
Yeah, we're getting some thumbs ups.
Well, okay, we'll come back to it. I was going to say which one, but we'll come back to that.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, this is the great debate.
Yeah.
So I'm next. I'm Beth. I'm born and raised in South Carolina, and I'm going to agree with Mario that the correct answer is the Haunted Mansion.
You're going to notice a trend here tonight.
We're big Haunted Mansion stans on our podcast.
I'm Brian. Like Frankie, I am also originally from Georgia, but I moved to a slightly better state. I'm in Florida now, so big Disney World fan.
It's a very slightly better.
He's a Florida man now.
Yeah, the change was hard, but I got there. Favorite attraction, definitely the Haunted Country Bear Jamber Mansion, which is a crossover that I continually pitch Disney in the hopes that Country Bear Jamboree will latch onto Haunted Mansion and never, ever get taken down. So we'll see how that goes.
I'm going to tell you, Brian.
Nightmares.
Big Country Bear Jamboree fan in the house, so
I'm gonna tell you, Brian, as much as like I love both of those attractions, the two of them combined sounds like my worst nightmare.
You know, we keep saying we want more Halloween party overlays. I think this is what we need to do.
Featuring the Muppets.
I love it.
Oh my
Just
gosh.
throw it.
Okay, real quick. I need a survey of the room. Is there a Disney attraction that you believe would be enhanced by being hosted by the Muppets?
All of them.
All of them.
Every single one. I want to see Muppet Vision 3D
You know what?
hosted by the
Universal
Muppets.
Studios Oh, this is a good point. We just got the fact that there was never a Haunted Mansion Great Movie Ride is a travesty. That would have been incredible. I don't know if you guys saw the Disney Plus special this year last year that came out, the Muppets Haunted Mansion.
So good.
But
Good.
incredible. 10 out of 10 recommend. All right, well, I think let's jump into the topic. So let's do a quick poll. I'm going to turn around to face all of y'all. All right.
You should make them get up and move to sides of the room. Keep them energized and awake.
Okay. So we have got, all right, on this side, raise your hand if you are Disneyland. What?
Yes.
Done deal. Close the panel now.
Yep.
Okay, so we're going to be arguing. Got it. So we are going to be arguing with the audience tonight. Got it?
All right, guys, this has been the panel. Y'all have a good night. We'll catch you next time.
Okay. So I am horribly outnumbered tonight is what I'm gathering.
Yes.
It is. So this is going to be Everyone Loves Walt Disney World and Danny Defends Disneyland. There we go. All right. Well, ma'am, sir, you, if I think you are at the wrong panel. I'm gonna be honest there. This is as great as Universal is.
Oh, the BDSM one is down the hallway there. They just got to keep going a couple more doors down.
I believe tomorrow's the is that a wand in your pocket panel. So all right. Well, let's since we've kind of already discussed that they can be different for different. Oh my God. Sorry guys, it's 9 p.m.
It's midnight.
For you, it's like midnight for us.
I know. Ugh. These guys, as I'm sure you've noticed, are a lot of East Coast, so it is midnight for them right now. So can we get a round of applause for the other hosts for staying up? Yes, Brian is in France. That is what the bottom of his hat.
Yes, it's. I think that's actually better than being in Florida right now, as far as the time.
Brian, why is your
I
window
thought he
so
was here to
dark?
defend Disneyland Paris.
He is.
You know,
Ooh, plot twist.
That's a tough one to defend, though. You know.
I mean, sure. Easy enough. Michael Eisner's park. There you go. That's it.
I remember my first bankrupt Disney park.
He did his best, you guys. Come on.
All right, well, let's hop into our reasons. So I'm going to go ahead and start us off. Surprise, I'm Disneyland. So Disneyland's my home park. We're here in Arizona. Disneyland was much easier to get to than Disney World. In order to go to Disney World, I did have to sell my soul to the mouse and work there for 6 months in order to visit. So, okay, I know it's cheesy, and I know that it's the most Disney adult thing you can say, but God damn it, Walt walked at Disneyland, and it makes a difference. Oh, don't groan. How dare you?
That was an audible groan that I heard all the way over here.
I at first thought that my audible groan was that loud, and I realized there was somebody in the audience.
Welcome in. Join here. I also have a mic, so if anybody actually wants to present your case, we do have a full-on court style mic. So if you're feeling so inclined. All right, so let's jump into John. We'll go to John next. Where do you lie?
Yeah, so I'm gonna side with you actually. So for similar reasons to what Danny just outlined, like that was the first Disney park I ever went to when I was 2 years old. That was the first one. My mom's originally from California, so that is the one that she grew up with. Yes, Walt walked there. That was one of the things I had written down. But just a couple other things. I will argue until the day I die. They have better rides. They have the better Haunted Mansion. They have the better Pirates of the Caribbean. They have Indiana Jones and the Temple of the Forbidden Eye. Up until like a week ago, they had Tarzan's Treehouse, and who the hell knows what that's going to become now. I will argue Fantasmic is better. And I know that's not a favorite opinion of some people, but Fantasmic is better. And overall, the weather is better. Better temperatures, not as rainy. Yeah, you got to deal with the LA assholes every once in a while, but you can get past that.
And
that's coming from a guy that worked at Disney World, and I still say that Disneyland is better.
Same. I also feel like once you see how the cheese is made, you don't want to eat it, and that's how I feel a lot about Walt Disney World too. Is like once you've worked there. And I was custodial. So once you have cleaned up shit for most of the rides and you have to question why there is adult-sized poops on rides, you really start to like question your life.
And humanity.
We found used condoms on the Haunted Mansion. We found obviously
that's sacred ground.
Danny, can I before I wanted to interject for different reasons, but I feel like because this panel is so small, I want to tell my absolute like most embarrassing and favorite Disney story that maybe I have told on the podcast before, and it's hysterical.
Is this the one where you don't know how to get to the gift shop of the seas?
No, it's not right? That one. So one time, because my nostalgia lies with Walt Disney World, when I was younger, we were on a full family trip because that's the thing that we used to do. And I was walking off of Test Track with my older cousin. And if anybody in this panel room knows how Test Track's exit is, you kind of come out around the outside and walk along like this concrete path. And I was in the middle of looking at him and talking, and I felt something squish under my shoe. And I looked, and on the ground was a full-sized human turd that I had stepped in while leaving Test Track.
Oh, no.
Don't know where it came from. Don't know how it got there. Probably my most embarrassing Disney World story.
You would be shocked at the things people do in amusement parks, especially on the, fun fact, the night where you can find the most people having sex in weird places at Disney is on the Christian nights.
Yep.
I believe that.
So not to turn this into the bodily functions podcast.
It's a problem.
This is not how this debate is.
No.
But listen, when we were
our
planning
first tangent.
this, like months ago, I don't think any one of us thought we were going to be talking about condoms and tampons and everything. But to back Danny up, I worked in strollers. I can't tell you how many used tampons I found inside of the strollers that women just could not dispose of correctly in the bathroom. So
disgusting. All right, so first,
Mario John and I just need to do a whole podcast on weird shit. We've seen it, quite literally weird shit we have seen at Disney.
That's what you could call it.
Mario, what's
to
your...
put us back on track, I just want to interject for a second and say a lot of your reasons before we started talking about bodily functions seem to be rooted in nostalgia. And I don't know if that argument holds up.
Okay. Right. Say your incorrect piece, and then we'll come back to it.
I made everyone do.
Yes.
We're going down to Frankie next. I am gonna. Fair warning, you're gonna hear me trying to rile them back in because we are the kings and queens of tangents here. I think we went on a tangent.
Yeah, no, you put us here.
Disney, so. Well, what about you, Frankie? Where your allegiances lie?
All right, so being from Texas, there's an old saying, bigger's better, and I have to say Walt Disney World is better because there's a lot more to do. I know everybody likes to say that Disneyland was like Walt's park, but to me, Disney World was Walt's dream.
Oh.
Well said.
That's
everyone
a
in the
good
room just
line,
like,
Frankie.
"Yep, sounds good."
I've been waiting for months to use that line now.
That was
Did you get that off a Facebook group, Frankie?
Actually, no, I didn't. I was like sitting there thinking about it, like rebuttals.
All right, let's go over to you, Mario. Where do your allegiances lie?
I mean, it should be pretty obvious with what I just said, but my allegiances lie with Walt Disney World. Do I have to pick one of my several reasons that I listed here, or can I just rattle them off?
No, because they're all wrong.
All right, so my rattle off here is Walt Disney World is a true vacation destination. I think if you're going somewhere, Disney World has the Disney bubble, so you're in an enclosed space versus Disneyland, which is so close to LA. It's constantly evolving, constantly changing, which I know that you said that there's a lot of rides coming to Disneyland, but at the same time, there's only so much that you can do with the space that you have. And also you have those classic attractions that really can't be touched. So Disney World has that expansion capability. But also on top of that, you have more entertainment options. It's more easily accessible considering how, Disney transportation works, which for better or worse is more accessible. Well. And then also there's more things to do. There's more hotels, more restaurants, more everything.
In summary, bigger is better.
Yeah, I mean, in short, Frankie kind of nailed it.
All right, down to the love of my life, the woman I would give everything up for, Miss Beth.
So I actually, believe it or not, kind of struggled with this a little bit. Ultimately, I did decide on Walt Disney World, and I will admit that some bias comes into it because I have been to Disney World 30 times, and I've only been to Disneyland once. But I am just going to kind of echo like what Frankie was saying, is that Disney World took Walt's original vision and expanded upon it. They did things that he wished he could have done with Disneyland. And then also, like Mario was saying, and Frankie too, that, size does matter. There's more to do. There's more options. There's more variety. I just feel like there's so much left for me to do at Disney World, despite how many times I've been there. And even though I only spent a day at the 2 Disneyland parks, I feel like I got most of what I wanted to do done. And don't get me wrong, I definitely want to come back, especially if I get to go with Danny. But I just think it's crazy that the parks, like that Disney World Resort, is so much bigger, and there's still stuff I haven't done there as many times as I've been.
That's great. Let's wrap it up with Brian, and then we'll get into some of the. We want to hear your guys' reasons on why you think one may be better than the other, so we can argue with you. So we're gonna jump into Brian, and then.
I think most of us are going to agree with them, Danny.
Like, I know. I think Danny just wants to argue with somebody.
It's going to be me fighting all of you, okay? That's all
I
right.
got your back,
ahead,
Danny.
Brian.
Don't worry.
Well, like most of the people with correct opinions already said, Walt Disney World really is the park that Walt wanted to make. And I know a lot of people give Disneyland that extra bump because it was, the park that Walt walked in. But Walt was still around for a lot of the early plannings for Disney World too, to help set it up into what it became. And I think the biggest part of Disney World for me that really embodies Walt's dream is Epcot. Even though it's not the Epcot that Walt wanted, I think it is the one park that he would easily look at and say, this fits everything that I wanted to do, not just within the parks, but within the whole Disney company that he has tried to do. So that's why Disney World is big for me.
I would like to just point out that we now have a Chef Remy in the room, and linguine? Is it linguine? Incredible.
Love it.
Aren't you the one that hosts the majority of a movie podcast every year?
Okay, so we're gonna be rude today.
How it normally goes.
Listen,
all right, guys. So let's jump into. You've heard our reasons. I want to hear some of your guys' reasons. So just kind of give me a good old hand raise if you have any opinions on which you believe is better. What's up?
Okay, so I actually agree with you. I mean, I love both parks for very different reasons, but I have more of like a nostalgia for Disneyland because I've been there more times than I've been to Disney World. And like my memories of Disney World, like were when I was very, very young.
Yeah, for sure.
I've been to Disneyland more as an adult than I have as, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
And like, honestly, like, if I went to Disney World now, I probably wouldn't even recognize half the stuff that exists.
I worked there in 2016, and I still don't recognize most of it.
And I'm somebody who likes the classics. Like, I like being able to go somewhere and experience the ride that I enjoyed as a child, and know that, you know, it might be updated, like the Pirates of the Caribbean ride. Like, you know, they added the Johnny Depp stuff, but it's still Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah.
And it's the best Pirates of the Caribbean.
It is the best part. Yeah, that is one thing. If you have been to Disneyland's Pirates of the Caribbean versus, like...
It's not even close.
Literally, if that was the debate here, there would be no debate.
Yeah.
The very first time I ever rode Pirates of the Caribbean in Walt Disney World, it was the very first ride I rode, because I was like, yes, Pirates on the East Coast, let's go. It's my favorite ride at Disney World or Disneyland. Got on it and I was like, what is this shit? This is not good.
Don't let that one attraction distract you from the rest of the park, though.
Haunted Mansion.
Yes. Yeah,
No.
obviously the East Coast one's better.
The East Coast one is better.
You're
better
insane.
Exterior.
Okay,
better
MC.
view,
It's true.
and then the attractions are the same. So I don't even know how you argue that.
Does the East Coast version have an elevator?
It doesn't.
It has a
Who cares? It
faux
feels like
elevator.
it.
It's literally two rides in one, and if you're in a wheelchair, it's 3 rides in one because you got to go back up the elevator.
Are you seriously making the argument that an elevator is a ride now, John?
All right.
I know, right?
Absolutely.
Let me ask you this, John. Does
Yeah.
Disneyland have
Tower
Pandora?
No, and
Ooh,
Disney
yeah,
World
that's a
shouldn't
good
either.
question.
I mean,
Tower
you're
of
not
Terror
wrong, but
or
Flight of
Guardians of the
Passage.
Galaxy? Tower
of Terror. No.
Oh, yeah, no.
Tower.
Tower.
All
Okay,
day.
but Guardians of the Galaxy is so fun.
I have experience that.
Okay.
Here's good, Beth.
To be
You were gonna talk
fair, if the argument was the Tower of Terror on the West Coast and Guardians that replaced it, then Guardians. But if it's Tower of Terror on the East Coast versus Guardians, hands
It's
down.
the East Coast.
Not only that,
Yeah.
though.
All right,
Wait, hold on.
I
Back
think
up.
Beth made us all agree.
Yeah,
Hold on.
well,
Are you seriously debating right now that an elevator ride is not a ride, but now you're using an elevator
An
ride?
elevator
to-
ride
But Tower
and an
of Terror goes
actual
faster
elevator
than an
are not the
elevator.
same thing.
hold on. We have talked extensively about this, and the fact that the Haunted Mansion, Tower of Terror is a ride before you get to the queue. Everything about the Tower of Terror is so perfectly themed because it is what it needs to be, and it gets progressively more spooky as you get inside. Things get like more just
down.
off and run down, and it's so well designed, and I think that there is just no debate on that.
Yeah.
Well, you know,
So Disneyland's better.
I just
No.
want to say that I kind of envy John because he gets to ride an attraction every time he goes to a hotel. Simply going to his room is exciting on the elevator.
Who's
Ooh.
excited for their elevator ride back up to the hotel tonight?
But so
Oh yeah, that's a good point. We just got one from the audience as well, that once you've seen the castle in Disney World, it is a little disappointing going back to Disneyland.
Remember what Frankie said, bigger is better.
Underwhelmed by the
I
castle
feel that
at
is the one thing I'll
Disneyland.
do. As much as I love our little Pinky, that castle is majestic. What was that?
Little Pinky.
Euro Disney's castle is great as well. In fact, I was using it in pictures earlier because it was just so pretty. What's up?
The other reason why I kind of like Disneyland more than Disney World, just in terms of like logistics, is that the hotels, unless you stay on Disney property, like at one of the hotels that are in the park at Disney World, a lot of the hotels are miles away. Like
Yeah.
the walkability.
Yeah, the walkability
Yeah,
of Disneyland is.
The hotels, like they're right across the street from Disneyland. And like whenever, like as an adult, when I've gone to Disneyland, I use a mobility scooter, and so do my parents. And
So she gets to ride
like,
the Haunted Mansion 3 times.
our mobility scooters in the hotel lobby, and we would go down in the morning, get on our scooters, scooter across the street, and go into the parks, have our fun. And I will say, like, the funnest thing about, like, being able to have, like, the mobility scooters or the wheelchairs or whatever is that a lot of the rides you get to go in the back entrance.
Yep.
And, like, they have, like, some of them you go in, like, the main line, and then they, like, divert you off.
Yeah.
Like, elevators, especially, like, the, what is it, the...
Indiana Jones.
Yeah, the Indiana Jones. Like, you go up, and then over, and down, and up, and
Oh, yeah, the Indiana Jones queue is a mess.
Like, you get to see, like, behind the scenes.
Yeah, it is a lot of fun to kind of have
Like,
those.
fun to do
Yeah.
that, and, like...
That queue used to be so much better though when they would hand out the cards.
Yep.
You could translate everything.
You could yeah. It did help the time of that queue.
You can do that on another app now.
Oh, you can do it on the Disney
Oh,
app?
I still have it on my card.
You
Yeah.
can do it on the Disney app now.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. What
And
else?
it's
What else?
working.
I want to comment.
Hold on. My friends. Hi, what's up?
Wow.
Oh, okay. In case you didn't hear, she said that she thinks they're passing Matt again, which now that you all are here, if you see one, you are obligated to give it to me. So you did, that was part of walking in the door. So what else? What else reasons? What are your personal reasons for liking Disneyland versus Disney World? Maybe you haven't been to both of them. What's your reason for your park or the reason you want to go? Like, if you've never been to any of them, what would make you choose Disney World over Disneyland or vice versa?
I can actually eat at Disneyland.
Oh.
A lot of food allergies at Disneyland.
Oh, so one of the Miss Beth over here, she's a vegetarian, and she's definitely talked a lot about how like Disney food options can be tough.
Yeah.
They can be hard.
Disney World's better
Okay,
than Disneyland.
Just wrap it up there.
that's awesome.
I heard Disney World's better. That's all I need to hear.
Oh, meal plan? Yeah, the meal plan is a really great. I know.
I'm not doing it yet.
Yeah, Mario, you've utilized the meal plan a good amount of times, right?
I
So-
always tend to go to that meal plan too.
Yeah, the dining plan is it's so one of my favorite points about Walt Disney World specifically is just the convenience of everything. Like, yeah, you do pay a premium for certain things that like the meal plan, it is kind of not the best bang for your buck in terms of dining and whatnot, but just the convenience of having a dining credit and saying, I'm going to go eat dinner and this is all I need to do is tip the waiter. Like that is to me fantastic.
And when you get there, you're not worried about budgeting so much,
Right, exactly.
which makes it a whole lot easier.
What were you saying?
Last time we were there for like 2 weeks and not all the
Well,
right
thanks,
parts.
Disney.
But
Yeah.
the dining plan actually based on how many days you're at the hotel, not the park. So we had several nights that were
Yes.
like, okay, well, we're gonna do one of the sit-down dinners, which took 2 credits. And we're like, okay, well, it doesn't affect us much because otherwise we had 12 people going.
Yeah.
At $80 per person, that would have been insane.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, the dining plan can, for especially big groups like that, I imagine it makes it a lot easier, especially to coordinate everything, and then you don't have to split the bill and like.
All right, you don't have to worry about anything, and the other thing that will make us go back besides that is the light cycle, right?
Oh, the Tron. That is, I will say that the upcoming
Cannot
Tron
wait.
ride, I am.
Actually, if everything goes correct and nobody's going to be going for vacation, that'll probably be one of the places to go to.
These children just found out they're going to Disney World, so welcome, congratulations.
Yay. One of the things, like while we're on dining,
That's true.
one of the things that I want to talk about, because this was a point that I definitely had in my list, the amount of dining and the amount of like unique and good food for, I guess, a theme park.
Oh yeah.
The
Ohana's.
variety's more.
Oh, okay. Somebody whoever said
Ohana,
Ohana, like
Yeah.
you have just made my best friends list. That is one of my favorite places.
Hey, and while we're at the Poly,
Bayou at Disneyland, which is such a cool ride, like such a cool restaurant. And
The Monte Cristo at the Blue Bayou.
oh, the Monte Cristo and all
Blue
you
Bayou,
can drink
thank
mint
you.
julep. Sign me up.
But they need
I would-
alcohol.
That was the most like on point thing that you have said.
I
All
would absolutely sell my first child. In fact, if you need, I'll sell any of your children also for a mint julep.
Whoa.
I am your new mom. Nice
I
to
think
meet
we
you.
need to sign off of this panel now before we all get incriminated.
Oh my God, that cease and desist we've been trying to avoid from Disney
Oh
is
my
coming
God.
ever so closer.
yep.
Oh my
Oh yeah, we are. We're this close to cease and desist with all this. What else? What else? What reasons do you have for your love of the park?
I love Animal Kingdom.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, bestie.
Yup. Yeah, animal. What's up?
They have Okapi.
What is?
Okapi.
Oh wow. Wow, that's so interesting. I've never heard like someone be like, "Aha, the specific animal is why I go to Disney World."
I love a good half-day park.
Rude.
That's where you're wrong,
Rude.
John.
That's
Also-
why you like Disneyland so much.
Oh,
He's used to the half days.
Here's my thing.
John's
too,
too
is,
old. He can't manage a full day in a theme park anymore.
Yeah, mid-30s, man, it's tough.
My other big thing I think with Disneyland is, and this I'm surprised this hasn't been brought up yet. The character meet and greets in Disneyland are 1,000 times better than Walt Disney World. In fact, it was just announced today that Galaxy's Edge in Disneyland is getting Boba Fett and Fennec Shand from Book of Boba Fett.
And Disney World is getting jack shit.
Hey,
Honestly,
we just
yeah.
got Kevin's back.
Kevin's back.
Hi,
That's all we
Kevin.
need.
Woo.
Give us the bird.
I love that at Disneyland you can just walk around and like characters will just walk by you and be like, "Hey, what's up?" Whereas at Disney World, every single character is a meet and greet, which makes sense because there's more people and you don't want characters getting mobbed out there. But the nice thing about Disneyland is because they do cater to locals, they really have to keep like entertainment changing all the time, and that is really cool. Whereas at Disney World, you can get one fireworks show, no matter how good Wishes was, for 15 years. So, like, that is
Yeah.
another nice thing is I feel
Yeah,
like
but
Disneyland
Happily
really
Ever After
is-
was good.
Yeah.
Happily Ever After is great. But, you know, like,
Mm.
Disneyland kind of is forced to change how they approach things more often. I feel like we're always getting new characters. I mean, even with Avengers Campus, as the Marvel shows are coming out, the characters are going to Avengers Campus. So Moon Knight was just there. I'm sure we're going to get it.
Agatha.
Scarlet Witch was there from Madness.
I'd like to raise my hand, Danny, and give a counterpoint.
See, Mario, there's a little hand raise button.
Yeah.
you can
Yes.
press, and
I will push that button.
then your hand goes up.
There we go.
Oh, look, you have a
And
little
then-
hand raise.
Danny the Benevolent will call on you.
Okay. What? All right,
Oh, okay,
Mario. what
I'm
would you
allowed
like
to speak.
say?
Okay, cool. So, so to your point, yes, I think Disneyland does have better character meet and greets because they can have the walk-arounds and kind of just random interactions. However, I think that you lose a little bit of the charm of the like fun resort entertainment that can also be considered characters. One of the things that we talk about a lot is like Yeehaw Bob at Port Orleans Riverside. You can go see him do his show weekly where he'll he'll play piano and have like sing-alongs and whatnot. And then, you lose the Grand Floridian Orchestra and all of those little things that, while they aren't necessarily Disney characters, they are incredibly charming and add so much more to the resort, I think.
Yeah, but I think Disneyland has some things that you lose out in Disney World, right? So like walking over to the Disneyland Hotel, you've got the waterfalls that you can walk behind and around.
The backside of water?
You can walk behind the backside of water. You can't do that at Disney World. You have to get on a boat.
You can walk on the boat.
All right, guys, everybody shut up. The love of my life's hand is up, so we are going to listen to her speak now.
I see how it is.
Okay, I do want to agree with Danny about the character meet and greets, because I think the most magical thing that happened to me at Disneyland was I was walking around New Orleans Square, and Dr. Facilier, my favorite villain in the entire Disney universe, was just like standing there. Just like interacting with people. You couldn't even see a character attendant. If there was one, they were hidden. It was just like it felt so natural. And I was just like, it was literally like seeing a celebrity. I was like, oh my God, can I go up to him? Can I go get a picture with him? And I did. And I was just like, this is like the best interaction. Not only is he like a super rare character that you don't even get to meet and greet at Disney World, but he was just like chilling, like, oh, this is where I live. I'm just hanging out. And that was just so awesome to me. Just seeing characters just walking around, interacting with people, not having to stand in a line or, wait around. You just would see them out in the wild.
Fair warning, guys. When you do chat, it pops up on your screen, and so everyone knows what you're saying. There's no
good.
time.
Good.
So they saw the thing about ADD.
This is the same man who didn't realize you could get into the seas at Epcot without riding Nemo. He thought you had to ride
tell
Nemo
this story.
every single time. I'm sorry, we're losing our mind. Again, it's midnight for them, so it's late. So bear with us.
I took a 4-hour nap and I got a cup full of vodka. I'm good to go.
I just chugged a Wawa coffee about like 20 minutes before we got on. So
East Coast thing you could say. Just chugged a Wawa coffee. Frankie, your hand's up. Go ahead.
All right. So, and I don't know if Disney World has any plans to changing it back, but ever since the COVID, I would say that.
John, I love you.
John.
So anyway, what Frankie was trying to say is one of the biggest issues that Disney World.
All's fair in love and war, John.
Guys, we're trying to be professional here. Get it together.
You picked the wrong group of people to get professional.
Danny, seriously, we just did a podcast episode on the sexual mating rituals of the Ewoks. Like, you expect us to be serious?
I listened to that today, and
if you're interested, we can just drop a new episode today about Caravan of Courage, which is the very bad 2-hour ABC.
I heard the groan. I heard it.
I knew it was about Ewoks, but I didn't know it was about their sex.
Love our tangents here. And we started talking about the mating rituals of Ewoks. So listen in, guys.
Murder pandas.
Content. Frankie, is your hand still supposed to be up, or are you just done?
I mean, John didn't let him talk.
He didn't get to finish. All right, so
finish.
Ever since the COVID, Frankie, tell us.
So ever since the COVID, Disney World has actually done stuff different with their characters in the park, where they makes them look more natural in elements and everything. I've seen like Chip and Dale actually in the lawn playing around, having fun, which I would say kind of gives it that almost the same aesthetic as Disneyland, but just not quite.
Yeah, it's like a cute from a distance thing, but you don't get the real interaction that you want. But, they were doing what they could with the pandemic, so I guess.
And it's one of those things I hope they kind of keep after the pandemic.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think it'd be cool if they continued with regular meet and greets, but also had those like kind of, like I was saying, in the wild kind of things. It's like really cute to happen upon.
For sure. Now, if you had, what's up?
No. So I really don't have like a favorite park over one or the other, because Disneyland and World update things all the time. There are things they update in Disney World that doesn't exist in Disneyland and things that exist in Disneyland that don't exist in Disney World. So like for me, when they put in the Avatar theme park in Disney World, it's like, that makes me want to go to Disney World. But then they have the Avengers campus in Disneyland, and I'm a huge Marvel fan. I dressed up like Loki, a Loki variant today.
Yeah.
So that shows you where my love is. And so it's like, I just wish that they were both the same park.
Yeah.
That would make things better.
Yeah, but then I think it's interesting too, because then you get something like Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. If you've been to them, if you've been to one, you've been to both of them. They are the exact same carbon copy. And like that discourages me from going to like, now I'm like, well, like for example, I'm supposed to be going to Disney World hopefully in October, and me and my mom were like, okay, we've got like 2 days, and we were like, well, we don't need to really do Hollywood Studios, because everything that we'd want to do in Hollywood Studios we can also find at Disneyland or California Adventure. So like personally,
not Tower of Terror.
I will say
an elevator.
Rock and Roller Coaster.
They don't
is
have
my
ABC
favorite,
commissary.
Frankie, shut up.
I have fond memories for Rock and Roller Coaster, because the last time I was at Disney World, me and my sister managed to trick my mom onto Rock and Roller Coaster, because my mom was a huge Aerosmith fan, but she did not like roller coasters. And like she was okay as long as they didn't go upside down. And there's that corkscrew.
Yeah.
And me and my sister, like even now, I swear, I never felt like I went upside down.
Yeah.
Like I went sideways, but I don't feel like I made a complete 360 circle. And so me and my sister both said the same thing. Like you went sideways, but you didn't go upside down. And so my mom went on it with us, and we did that corkscrew, and my mom was just screaming, "You lied! You lied!"
Yeah.
And she came off that roller coaster, like it's a fond memory, especially because my mom passed away in 2017, and so like being able to think back to that memory, like
I think
that's a fond memory.
I think Disney is, I know at least in my time working there, we had, I mean, you obviously get the Make-A-Wish kids and things like that, but it really is truly incredible. And like, that's why we're all here. Like those parks have meant something to us at some point, those parks have made us feel a way, and they've made us just feel like we're in a different world and we can get away from everything for a second. And I think whether you're at Disneyland or Disney World, like there's that inherent magic that is just, no matter which one you go to, you're gonna feel. And like you get away from, like, you walk into Disney in general, and like you just kind of forget for a little bit, like everything's shitty in the world. Like you're like, fuck yeah, Mickey Mouse, let's go.
No, you're absolutely right. And I've got a story to kind of play on that a little bit.
Guys, hands raised. Come on, gentlemen. I need a hand raise.
But before we go to Frankie, because I want to interject here. Thank you for muting Frankie. No, so your point is, it's incredibly valid, and I really do appreciate you bringing that up, because there is a merit to that, and also the Disney bubble is bigger in Walt Disney World.
I have a counterpoint, but I'm gonna let Frankie talk since he has his hand up.
So I went to Disney World in March of 2020. And that's actually when the COVID outbreak started happening rampant and everything else. Before I went to Disney for about a week, maybe a week and a half. And before I went, COVID was just talked about. It was like that Seattle hospital, and that was it. And then when I come back, I remember all of a sudden everything shutting down, and it was complete shock of what COVID was then, because when I was at Disney, I didn't really watch the news. It took me out of my element. I stayed in the parks, and I was away from the outside world.
Yeah.
For sure. Beth?
To kind of play on Frankie's point, I was at Disney in February of 2020, and me and my friend that I was there with, like, it was, very low rumblings of COVID. We're like,
sorry, Beth.
No, that's
So
okay.
rude of-
Brian took a snapshot.
He was so excited.
Precious
were-
memories.
There were very low rumblings about COVID, and we were literally just like walking around chilling, just like, I guess we'll just use like more hand sanitizer than we normally do. Like, we're not that concerned about it. And then everything shut down, and it became very obvious how much I missed being at the parks after that because, you know, everybody kind of went into isolation. But I want to go back to Mario's point, and I know that I said earlier that size matters, but it can go both ways because even though Disney World is bigger and there's more options and stuff, it's so exhausting. It's like you need a vacation from your vacation when you go. But I think that you benefit a lot at the Disneyland parks because they are more compact, that you get more done without feeling as tired at the end of the day. And I know that a lot of people hate on this, but I loved walking across a breezeway to go from one park to another and not having to get on a bus or a boat or the monorail. Even though I love the boats and the monorails and the Skyliner, it was just so nice to just be like, all right, we're going to go from this one to this one, and we're there. So I liked that aspect.
Be easier.
John
if you had
might
an
consider
elevator.
the monorail an attraction, though, so you're just riding one attraction to the other part.
I would agree with him on that, actually.
Yeah, I mean,
Not the
monorail-
monorail
everything's better on a
itself,
boat.
but the escalator to get you.
The
to
escalators to the monorail.
So
The other thing that I like about Disneyland than Disney World is that Disneyland is flat.
that is true.
Disney World, there are a lot of hills that go up and down, up and down. And the last time that I was there, my mom, like they didn't have mobility scooter rentals at Disney World because keep in mind this is back in 2001, just after 9/11 was when I went. And so my mom needed a wheelchair, and they had wheelchair rentals. And trying to push my mother in a wheelchair up and down those hills.
Yeah.
I had to push her through Disney World in a wheelchair, and I was so tired. It was
miserable.
Yeah,
It
Preach.
was bad.
Yeah.
for
I
sure.
don't understand why Disney World has to have all the hills.
Ambiance.
Make it
That's
flat.
really interesting from like an accessibility standpoint. I never thought about that. But yeah.
As someone who pushed two people in two different wheelchairs around Disney World for the better part of 10 years, the worst place in the entire Walt Disney World property is coming down into Fantasyland coming out of Fantasyland into Frontierland, that little pathway. And coming off that hill, you almost smash the wheelchair into one of the pillars that's holding up the Columbia Harbor House. I almost killed my parents
Oh, no.
probably 20 times.
Yikes.
Animal Kingdom also has a lot of
Yeah.
up and down.
Yeah.
Animal Kingdom is
That-
also.
Seems like a nightmare.
Yeah.
And with the Florida heat and humidity,
Yeah.
it just makes it that much miserable.
That, see?
California definitely wins on weather.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It was like in April, May.
Yeah.
Well, March or May. It's March or April. And so it was like over 100 degrees when we were there, and then the humidity was like at 80%.
Yeah, that's a good point. Is like
There's storms every
the weather is more consistent in California, and that does make it easier. Now, granted, I have run around at Disney Park in Florida in torrential downpour, and it is great because everybody leaves, and as long as you're okay being a little damp for a while, like it's a great experience. Mario, it looks like you've got your hand up. What's up?
So,
I pack extra socks always.
so since we're getting kind of close to like the end of our panel here, like we're almost at the 10-minute mark before the ending, I wanted to bring up a point that we kind of started with earlier, and I think this may be a good point for audience discussion too. I really think your park preference also kind of comes back on nostalgia, right? Like we've talked about that a lot with like what you have ties to in the parks. And for me, I mean, we talk about it a lot on our show. My big thing is that I got to experience, Walt Disney World with my mom's entire family, and like that was the park that we always used to go on vacations for. And I would get to see the parks with all of them, and then I also got engaged at Disney. We went there for our honeymoon. Like those things are what bring me back, not only because of the memories that we have, but also because like that is kind of my happy place. And I wanted to kind of, before we wrap the panel up, maybe ask everybody here, because we all seem to have that nostalgia, like what a good happy memory is at any of the parks, and then maybe ask the audience as well.
I mean, yeah, I'll start off like, this is gonna sound really depressing in the moment, but like, you know, I grew up in a broken home like most people my age, and Disney was the one place my parents wouldn't fight. Like, because they had spent so much money on that trip, they were like, we are not gonna fight. So for me as a kid, that was like, it literally was my safe place. I knew when we went to Disney, like everything was gonna be great. So like that, you know, and that like stuck with me. And then doing the Disney College program, working as a cast member, I made some of my best friends there that I still like talk to every single day. And like, they're my little family. They're my little Disney family. And like these guys have also become my little Disney family. And
oh, shucks.
Except for John. But
I know
no, like it really is. The Disney, for all its faults, and it's Disney adults. The Disney community it's really special, and it is largely built off of nostalgia, and we all have these nostalgic feelings, though they may be nostalgic for different reasons. We all are gonna cry when we watch Mufasa get trampled, right? Like no matter how old we are, no matter what we feel, like we're gonna cry. We're gonna feel those feelings.
Damn childless millennials.
You're not one anymore, Brian.
Welcome to the club, asshole.
I'm 6 months out.
What about you guys? Any with the audience? What are any, you know, memories that you guys want to share that like makes Disney special to you? If you guys didn't hear, he said walking around Main Street at night with his girlfriend for the first time. Aww. Which did just make my heart melt. So good job.
If I had one, it would melt too, but it's fine.
Brian?
I was just gonna say one of my stories, and one of the reasons that I guess I love Disney World so much too, is that when I was a kid growing up and my family took trips there, we stayed at Fort Wilderness at the campgrounds. And I feel like a lot of people don't even know that those exist, but yes, there is a campground that you can stay at on Walt Disney World property. And that was always so cool to me to have, you know, this whole other experience outside of being in the parks, outside of being in that normal Disney bubble that you're used to being in, this whole other experience to do. But just one of my favorite stories was that when I was like 4 or 5 and had just started learning how to ride a bike, like we would go around and my dad was always playing jokes on people. And you know, I could barely ride a bike at this point, but we were riding around at night, and we'd get to some spot, and the campgrounds are very, very dark at night, and he would tell me like certain places were haunted as we were riding this bike. So I would, being 4 years old and just having taken my training wheels off, you know, be pedaling as fast as I could, and just silly stuff like that, and having this whole other place on property to go around and explore, just like those kind of memories are part of what makes Disney World so special to me.
Yeah.
Whoever had their hand up next, I lost count.
I think it was me, so I'm gonna go with that. Yeah, I kind of want to piggyback off of what Danny was saying. My very first trip to Disney World was the last trip that me and my family took before my parents got divorced. So that kind of is like the last happy memory that we have as the 4 of us before that big nasty divorce happened. So that definitely plays into it. But then I also just think of all the memories I have with my families after they got remarried. Like I've been with both sides of my family. I went for my college graduation with my mom and my stepdad. No! It's not divorce equals memorable trip. It's before divorce equals memorable trip.
So it's not just you, because my wife's parents split and they went on Disney trips as a split couple.
Yeah.
So it's just funny to me. Like, this is a whole new thing I'd never heard of before getting married. So
yes.
Must be a whole new, yeah.
I'm learning things.
So if you're married, don't go to Disney is what I'm getting from this.
It's the ultimate test.
I was just about to say.
Hey, I have seen some people on the verge of a divorce.
It is
in the
truly
park,
the
for
ultimate
sure.
test of any relationship, whether it's romantic
really
or
is.
friendship. Like, I have seen friendships end after a Disney trip. I've seen relationships end after a Disney trip. It's true.
We had a audience hand up, so yeah.
I've never been to Disney. I've been to Disneyland. Are there rides?
Danny, can you
There's
move the
Splash
microphone
Mountain.
closer?
Really let you ride those rides when it's spring.
Ooh, I think it's if there's lightning.
Disneyland is lightning.
Yeah, if there's lightning, it goes 102, which means that it closes down. If it's because I think it's within 3 miles. John, 3 miles of lightning is when 5. So if there's 5 within the park, there's 5 miles of lightning within the park.
I totally just made that up. I have no idea.
Oh, okay.
You did it with such confidence.
It should
Okay.
be
It sounded
right.
good.
So the audience does agree that it's 3 and John is full of shit. So
That's fine. Yeah, no,
It's fair, we all
You know
do.
what?
For
I'm gonna
most
say-
things.
Oh my God, I'm being told by the audience to mute John. This is the best thing.
Here, I'll mute
Can I have the
myself.
honors, Danny?
I do have the power, but I am a benevolent God.
It's okay, I took it for you.
What's up?
Like, I will say that, like, because I was so young when I went to Disneyland and Disney World as a kid, because I think, like, the first time I went to Disney World, I think I was, like, 4 and 5, and then I think I went to Disneyland when I was, like, 6, 7. So, like, because I was so young, like, they're both Disneyland, like, in my mind and in my memories, the parks fused into one giant thing. And so, like, I would often have to say to my mom, like, which park has which thing? Like, where's the
Yep.
thing? And, like,
Where are we?
so, like, in my mind, like, whether it's Disneyland or Disney World, it is all one park in my mind.
Yeah,
And so it's all my happy memories of my mom. And so often my dad, like, until I was an adult, like, my dad didn't really come with us because he had to work and he couldn't get the time off because America.
Facts.
And so, like, oftentimes, like, when we went to Disney World, it was me, my mom, her best friend, and her best friend's kids.
Yeah.
And her best friend's husband also stayed home because he couldn't get time off from work either.
That's awesome. No, I mean, yeah, it really does. It does bring families together for better or for worse. We've got a couple minutes left. So, Frankie, let's go ahead and call on you next.
So, the nostalgic for me is gotta be like, so I grew up in the 90s during Disney's prime time, you know, and Walt Disney World had like a lot of the animation characters from the 90s when I first started going to Disney. With that, it kind of brings me back to my childhood. So, I mean, and that's the main reason
Full
why
House,
I had
Full House went to Disney. For the
Boy
ones
Meets
in
World.
my trivia panel earlier, we did learn about that.
Like, they all step by step.
Yeah.
They all went to Disney World.
So, yeah, like, all the TGI Friday shows.
Yep. All right, John, why don't you finish us out? What's your Disney memory?
So I'm probably just gonna go the
before
sappy
John
route.
starts. Can I just interject before John starts? Oh yeah, I can mute you. So the point for Disney World, because Beth just kind of uttered it. Corey and Topanga did get back together at Disney World, so I mean,
Very good.
you can't really beat that.
Making and breaking relationships.
And the best couple got back together, so
It's true.
you just win-win. Anyway, John, continue.
No. Speaking
That's
of getting
pretty
back
sassy.
together, no, I'm just kidding. So I would say the thing that stands out to me is like the most memorable, and I'm going to say Disney World memory I have is meeting my wife working there. She did a college program. I did a college program. We ended up doing the whole dating thing for our 6-month college program, did long distance for 5 years, and now 2 daughters and a house, and we go to Disney World 2 to 3 times a year. So Disney World's love is not lost on me. I just think there are better options.
I also want to
Wow.
say, if you want to hear about John's marriage and how he doesn't understand his wife, listen to our.
Mario's trying to shit talk my wife, and he froze. The internet trying to tell him something.
I think what he was trying to say is, if you want to hear about their relationship, listen to our most recent episode because they planned an anniversary trip for them.
Yeah.
I was saying if you want to hear about how John doesn't understand his wife, but sure.
One episode about mating rituals and about John's anniversary are the same episode.
Yeah,
Love
they're the
is
same
in
one.
the air.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Guys, well, it is just about time for all of us to go to bed. Praise God.
it is.
Thank you guys
past
so
my
much for
bedtime.
coming and hanging out with us today. It really does mean a lot. This is the first time we've ever done anything like this, so to have you guys here really does mean a lot to us. We do have socials. If you want to join our Discord, we have a Discord where we talk Disney, Marvel, Star Wars. Right now, we are all just like vomiting. I was gonna say we're all like vomiting of excitement about Kenobi, but they're sitting here sending up messages while I'm not looking at the screen. Because
Now we're vomiting for other
vomited
reasons.
But thank you guys so much for joining us. If you have anything, I'm gonna keep them up here for a couple minutes. So if you want to come say hi, I'm sure these guys would love to come to say hi and just wave, because for once there's real people listening to us, like they're here. So if you guys want to come up and say hi, any comments, anything like that, we'd love to talk to you. Otherwise, what's up? Oh yeah, that's probably a good thing to mention. The name of our podcast.
I was gonna say, Danny, you have in the notes that we need to close this out with our podcast and where you can find us. I will leave it to the notes to give John the floor first.
Okay, well, those are our socials. Hyperion Review. That's me, John, and Frankie. We talk, like I said, about weird. The way it just gets weird.
It's whatever we feel like
I
at the
said,
time.
We got to walk meeting rituals this week. Just we did re-review movies, and this season we are all picking movies on Disney Plus we've never seen. So if you want some good suggestions, and then Station 71, they focus on Disney World. So if you have a trip coming up, they are the ones to listen to. They know, they have all sorts of tips and tricks, and super great. But thank you guys so much for joining us.
Or if you just want to hear us, or if you just want to hear us argue about stupid things like
Duffy Bear.
what was that one, the clickhole articles and stuff like that. We do some very bizarre episodes.
Ours is generally more family friendly, but our Patreon is a little nasty.
Yeah.
Me and my wife not only are on our honeymoon, but our 20th anniversary.
Oh wow.
At Disneyland.
That's so great. Yeah.
Nice.
No, it's.
Our 20th anniversary was just last year.
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah.
2001, 10 days after September 11th.
We spent a little more money than
Wow.
no longer a 14
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh.
She was 19, I was 21.
Yeah, that's awesome.
We got married 2001, September 21st, 2001.
Wow.
10 days after September 11th.
Wow.
And we went back. We did 4.5 days Disneyland because we did the Oogie Boogie.
Yeah.
We did a day Knott's, day Universal, and a day in SeaWorld.
That's so cool.
Nice.
That's awesome.
Awesome.
Thank you guys so much for coming back and seeing me again and listening to us.
So this one didn't get to see you. I got to go for a Girl Scout trip, so I literally sent her a photo because I'm like, oh my god, they have copies. Yeah. And the odd one.
Animal.
I'm going to look
They're
up
not.
they have it at Animal Kingdom.
Yeah, that's why I made the comment. They're not
Yeah,
related
so-
to zebras, no matter how much people tell you.
Slightly interesting fact about okapis is when you go through when you go through training at Disney Animal Kingdom, because that's the park I worked at,
They're
you
not
have
related.
to learn.
You guys are curious. That's what an okapi is.
Yep.
Nice.
They're not related to any zebra types.
Aren't
Just
they
giraffes.
giraffes? Yeah, that's like
Yeah.
their
Yeah.
closest relative. Yeah.
Hi. Here, I'll
Yeah.
turn it
I want to
this
see
way.
people.
Spin around.
Hi.
Hello.
Thank you guys.
Hello.
Have a great night.
Hello.
What's up, Sylvie?
Not Sylvie, just random
Variant.
variants.
Okay.
Notice it's not the broken horns. But yeah, so I love Disney, all things Disney, Marvel, everything.
We
Yes.
hate it. That's why we're here.
Yeah.
I am very
Yeah,
jealous
This
of
is
the
our
Christmas
Disney
office.
anonymous group.
Well, thank you.
You know.
Have a good night, you guys.
Have a
Thanks
good one.
for
Thank you.
coming.
Thanks for coming.
All right, give it about 20 seconds and they'll all be gone so we can talk bad about all of them.
Yeah.
It's so rude.
No, we love you. Come back. No, I'm just kidding.
All right, guys,
No,
we
go
did
away.
it.
I want to go to bed.
We did the damn thing.
I still have an hour-long drive home, so I'm ready.
Poor thing.
Oh, wow.
You poor thing, having to drive home at 10 o'clock. Oh, no.
I know, right?
Okay, I have been here since 9 a.m. I'm exhausted.
Again, that's called work. That's a job.
But
Actually,
thank
no,
you
that
guys.
was fun for her. That's pleasure. She just had to walk around the con.
Yeah.
I think it went well.
I
think
agree.
it went really
That
well.
was fun.
Yeah.
So,
Let's do it again next year.
Mario froze. He was trying to say something
in person
and
next
froze.
year.
Yeah, I would love to come.
No, I was just saying. So next year, we're doing this next year.
Yeah,
Maybe
I'm
if we're not all in jail by then.
Grad school permitting.
Yeah.
Ooh.
But cool. Well, guys, thank you. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Beth, if
You
I
went
could do regular school, you could do grad school and still do it. So we're good.
Regular
All right,
school. What is regular
Yeah,
school?
I'm not sure Khan
Non-grad
Academy
school.
counts as regular school.
What is? I'm confused.
Oh my god, I still have to
but-
walk across downtown Phoenix to go back to my parking spot.
Oh no.
Oof.
No. My bed's like
I'm ready
35 feet from me.
Oh,
Yeah, I was just about to say I have a 2.
Yeah,
walk to the-
I'm going to bed because I got to
the
be up in
bedroom
4
where I'm
hours
gonna-
for work.
I took
so.
a 4-hour nap before this, so
Pass out.
I'm gonna keep drinking.
all right, guys. I'm gonna go to bed. Well, not immediately, but I'll be in bed eventually. Thank you so much.
Thanks for setting all this up, Danny. It was really
Yeah, this
fun.
was fun.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm
This
glad.
is super fun.
I'm glad people showed up. It
Yeah,
went well.
for sure.
Yes.
You said
So
you
we
wanted
have,
10 people.
Ooh.
You got them.
We got 20.
Before-
by the end of the
before we
panel,
all jump
20.
off,
Ooh.
Before we all jump off, this is just a friendly reminder to download the Skype call for anybody that's throwing it on their feed because it will disappear.
Oh, where is it?
I recorded it on
it's-
OBS.
I'm gonna be out
Okay,
in a
cool.
minute.
It's-
I promise.
So
It's in the chat. If you go to the chat feature, it's right in there. You could just click the little dots and it'll
Alright.
save. I
gonna
downloaded
save
it
it.
too, but if you've got it, Beth, then perfect.
yeah.
John, are
Oh,
you going
Frankie,
to
you're
do
doing it?
editing for this? Well, I was going to throw it up on the YouTube. But I mean,
Yeah, if you want to do it, you go ahead and edit. I just edited the caravan, so it's all yours, buddy.
Yep, I'll edit it. I'll download it.
Sorry, John. My life got insane.
No excuse.
Hello.
You're fired.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay, I feel like this does make up for it just a little, but like, 'cause I couldn't edit the episode this week, or last week, or the
All right,
week
Danny, you got to
before.
clean up. They're kicking you out.
Okay,
Yeah,
all right.
you do
Love
your
you.
thing.
All.
Okay, love you guys.
Bye.
Bye.